At a time when headlines are filled with division, hardship, and uncertainty, the question for many of us isn't just how to survive, it's how to stay connected, grounded, and whole. Across the country, families, neighborhoods, and entire communities are grappling with the ripple effects of economic stress, political polarization, and social fatigue. Yet in that tension, there are also seeds of hope found in spaces where people come together to heal, organize, and build something better. Our guest tonight believes that real transformation starts not in institutions, but in relationships. Dr. Dominica McBride, founder and CEO of Become, has dedicated her life to helping communities build capacity, equity, and connection, what she calls community of care. Her work focuses on fostering empathy, leadership, and resilience from the ground up, helping people see that healing and justice are not competing goals, they are intertwined. Dominica, Dr. McBride, one of my favorite humans. I've told you this on and off the air. It is so good to have you back. I say some weeks we really need you, but that feels like every week now. So welcome back and get ready for the call.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for
it's always
being
so good to be with
so
you.
good.
And your energy, your spirit, I love it.
But you and I talked about this before we started rolling. Without hope, so that the work you do really plants those seeds. It's more important than ever right now because it really might be the last bastion that we have to see our way through this is that hope and the connectivity that can sprout from it. So you've spoken about community of care. For those unfamiliar with how you're using that terminology, what does that phrase mean in your work and why is it especially relevant right now when so many of us, myself included, are feeling politically divided, economically strained?
Yeah. So it's really hearkening back to that idea of the village, right? Like that so many of us have experienced long ago where people just looked out for each other, right? They looked out for each other's kids. We bartered with each other.
We had rent parties.
Just like tapping into each other's strengths. So it's really like bringing that back, like really looking out for each other, using our talents to support each other, our resources. If somebody can paint in your neighborhood, like can they paint a room in your house? If somebody is good with children, a nanny, can they watch another, neighbor's kid in an emergency? Like it's really tapping into each other's strengths, each other's skills again.
It seems so profoundly simple, but we've done this. Our communities have done this.
Yes.
Okay, I love what you're telling me. And especially right now, I feel it all the time, burnout and mistrust and social fatigue, it's at an all-time high. It doesn't seem to be, it's at an all-time high.
Yeah.
What is your work revealing to us about the toll that this current environment, this convergence of trauma and stresses, what is it, the true toll, what is the true level of pain and trauma it's causing our communities? Yeah,
so we were already coming off of a huge collective trauma with the pandemic, right? I mean, we're still in some ways dealing with that, right? But we were already coming off on that and starting to recover, starting to like reconnect, and then boom, like now we're hit with like policy cuts, funding cuts, huge layoffs, right? People are scared. Like scared, anxiety is on the rise. There are people, the anger, huge, like rage, and people like are not even able to tap into the resources that are there for them, right? Like there's parents that are not taking their kids to school for fear that they might get picked up, right? Like, or deported, detained. There are people that are not calling 911 even in an emergency.
My God.
Right? Like they're dealing with these hardships and these continual traumas like on their own.
And trusting nothing and no one.
And trusting nothing and no one, right? So this environment is creating this milieu of distrust, of scarcity, and really it's creating this environment of lies. Like, The thing is that they want us to feel like we can't trust anybody, like we're isolated,
the isolation of
like
it all.
we have nothing, and those are just lies, right? And this is really a time where we need to deepen into what is true and what is real, which is each other, right? Relationship, love, care, right? Like what in our own neighborhoods, or who in our own neighborhoods can we begin to reach out to connect with, so that we can really tap into the power that is already inherent. It's already inherent in us, it's inherent in each other. And so for us to really begin to come together again, to reknit that social fabric, like that's what's gonna get us through it. It's not only like to survive, right? We need each other to survive, but to thrive.
To soar, yes. So you just hit an interesting point, and it's kind of been a theme. We know what community feels like, and many of us, we were part of that. And then something, maybe it was the last crises or 3 crises ago that got us there. And then once the crisis passes, we kind of fall back into, and there are systems around, the caste systems, crabs in the barrel, trust nobody. There are enough external forces that are more than happy to have us be disconnected again. How do we, how does become, and how do we take the things that we're watching, thankfully, happen in this crisis, where folks like you're reminding us, we have everything we need, come together in community, build those systems of trust. How do we, once this passes, fingers crossed, how do we sustain those systems that don't need to wait for the next crises, but can impact and uplift and enrich our lives continually from this point on? Yeah.
So a lot of times, like when we have something that's negative, right, we get pushed, like our the part of our brain that's very, very old, right? The amygdala gets activated. It's like you're afraid to fight, flight, flee, And so we get the adrenaline rush, and we're like, boom, we're working together. We're trying to like figure. We have a common enemy. We got to get through this. We got to do something. It's like urgent. It's reactive. Right. And then when that dissipates, and it's like, it seems like it's back to quote unquote normal, or it's quote unquote peaceful, right? Like there's like, oh, we don't have to work together. Like things
it's like working out. It's like going to the gym. You get to that stabilize, you see the results, and then you go, I'm good. We're good.
Yeah, and then the weight comes back,
My God, today.
A few weeks later. And
now you're angry and upset and disappointed.
Like, why? Why can't it just stay? Like, because we need to keep working. We need to keep going, right? And so it takes 5 to 6 positives to overcome 1 negative thought.
Wow.
Right? Because our brain is kind of like wired for the negative to survive, right? So it takes 5 to 6 positive thoughts to overcome 1 negative thought. So vision, we need something so beautiful and so big and so positive, the vision, right? Something inspiring and loving that will keep us motivated to keep going. We don't have to just acquiesce, or we don't have to be okay with the status quo. Like, this is not the way life is supposed to be. Even before 2025, that's not the way life is supposed to be.
Say it out loud. This ain't right.
This is not right. It's not
it's
right.
Unacceptable, and it's not right.
Yes. We as human beings have so much more potential. We're so much more powerful than anything we've really seen in our lifetime. And so we really need to tap into a vision that's much bigger, much better than what we've experienced, and work in relationship towards that vision. So if we can create that vision of that like bright spot, that bright North Star together, and keep working towards that, and celebrate the wins along the way, deepen trust and relationship with each other, then I think that's really what's going to get us not only through the crisis, but well beyond the crisis, to actually develop the communities and the systems and the country that we can have and that we deserve.
So let me, I knew we were going to never have enough time, but I'm going to try to get a few more in. Okay. Right now, we're watching it. We're watching it in real time, macro, micro. We need a certain kind of leadership. What kind of leadership when you talk to organizations, to leaders, to politicians, to civic leaders, community leaders, organizers, what is that combination of, I would suspect, empathy and accountability? What is the leadership needed by those of us right now who have platforms and have a responsibility?
Yeah. So we did research with over 600 women, philanthropists, nonprofit leaders, organizers, and we did a deep dive with 13 change makers. And we wrote a book called Becoming Change Makers that lays out, yes, thank you, that lays out the leadership that's really needed for this time, the liberative leadership that's needed for this time. And what came from that research and from these amazing stories of these change makers who have transformed themselves and their communities is that, one, we need healing leadership. We need leaders that are on their own healing journey and that support the healing journey of their teams and communities. We also need connected leaders. We need leaders that invest in and support and uplift relationships and authentic, genuine connection between each other. We need culturally conscious leaders that are aware of their story and how their story is important and has affected other people, and that honors other people's stories, their cultural stories, their intersectional stories. And we also need uplifting and liberative leadership that honors the power, the inherent power of people within each person and within each other, and that connection, and that uplifts the inherent freedom that we have. And with all of this together, being committed to the deep listening and asking critical questions and supporting your team and other people in this, but really uplifting the healing relationships, intersectionality, and power that is present, that we should honor and that we should celebrate.
We are not going to have enough time. I have more questions on this silly paper, but every time we talk, we've had a few conversations, a few filmed conversations. I always feel better when it's over, but there's always so much more to ask. The work you all are doing, you are leading at Become. I've talked about this. It's not just the things that you talked about, but you understand the measurement, the evaluation, the infrastructure underneath everything you've said. And we'll talk more about that when you come back. So you're coming back, say it.
Yes, I'm coming back.
For now, thank you for this. Our community appreciates it, and we certainly do. Continue great success to you and your incredible team at Become.
Thank you so much.
Dr.
It's so
Dominica
good to be
McBride,
on here with you.
On the other side of the break, a new installment of Inside Oversight with Chicago Inspector General Deborah Witzberg. Stay with us.